Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us from today. I see people trickling in here. Just give it a minute. Great, see lots of people joining. My name is Lindsay Hillcoat, and I'm representing Seed Global Education and joining you today from Toronto, Canada, where I'm dialing in from. And I'd love for you, before we get started, to introduce yourselves in the chat. If you can let us know what city and country you're dialing in from today. So just use the webinar chat function on the right. Let us know your city and your country. Great, we've got someone here from India, Delhi, quite a few people from different cities in India, from Pakistan, Lahore, Pokhara, in Nepal. Fantastic. Somebody from Kumasi in Ghana, Akwaba, Gujarat. Fantastic. Great. Keep that coming. Great to see all of you. Good evening. All right, for those of you that have just joined, once again, my name is Lindsay Hillcoat, and I'm from Seed Global Education, where we facilitate interactions between top universities like our masterclass host today, the University of San Francisco, and top students like yourselves. And in addition to expert master classes like today's session, where we're going to learn a lot more on how to craft that perfect standout application, we also host in-person events to help connect highly qualified candidates with top schools when we're on the road in India, the Middle East, Africa, and beginning in 2026, Southeast Asia. So for those of you based in those regions, we hope to have the opportunity to meet you in person soon in your city. We also have an impressive scholarship program totaling over $6 million this year, and it allows qualified candidates to access scholarships from many of our partner universities, including the University of San Francisco, who are here with us today. And they are offering 6 scholarships this year for graduate programs ranging anywhere from 25 to 75% of tuition, and also offering an application fee waiver to those who have attended today. And we'll share a little bit more later on in the session on how to access this. So I'm very excited to see all of you joining. I see a couple of more people. We've got Kigali in Rwanda. We've got someone else from Ghana, from Addis in Ethiopia. So thank you all for joining us. And I'm very excited to be welcoming the University of San Francisco today, a leading American university with a large global alumni network. And they also boast being one of the most diverse student populations amongst all national universities in the US, and offer a wide range of top-ranked graduate business programs. So today, for all of you that are thinking about business school, it's really important to think strategically about how you're going to craft a standout application. So our hosts today are going to walk through not only their programs, but really spend most of the time on wherever you're applying, what a strong application will look like, so that you can stand out and get admitted into the top schools that you're thinking about applying to. So you'll be able to learn not only about the School of Management at the University of San Francisco, but also more generally about how to prepare for applying to business school. So please note that we're going to be moving from the chat function into the Q&A. So as you have questions, please put them into the Q&A function. We are going to be answering those live at the end of the presentation. So we encourage you to engage with our great presenter through there. And as we get started here, I'd like to get a poll going before I introduce our guests. So what I'd like you to do is look on the screen, and we're going to be launching a poll. And you'll see here, when you're considering graduate studies, what do you value most from a program? So let us know. Is that opportunities to work on real-world industry projects? Is this learning directly from expert faculty and management? Is this accessing networking opportunities or building skills that are globally relevant and future ready? Maybe it's all of the above, but let us know what your priority is so we can get to know a little bit more about you and your objectives. Okay, so get your votes in. We're going to close the poll in just a moment here. Okay, let's see what you said. Okay, great. So we've got a large majority on building skills that are globally relevant and future ready, with a close second on the real world industry project experience. So that's great. Definitely important to build those skills, be career ready. And I'm sure our hosts will have a little bit more to say on that in their presentation. So with that, it's my great pleasure to introduce our guest from the University of San Francisco, Hannah Artis, who is the Senior Director of Graduate Admissions at the Masagung Graduate School of Management at USF. And she's been there for nearly 10 years in admissions, so a great expert to be leading us through our session today. Also with us is Ramya Nurani, who is the Associate Director of Graduate Recruitment and Outreach for the University of San Francisco, based in India. So welcome to both Hannah and Ramya. Ramya, do you want to say a quick hello before we throw it over to Hannah?
No, let her begin. Thank you so much for
Okay, wonderful. So both of them are here to support you throughout and even after the session. And I'll kick it over to Hannah, who's going to be hosting our session.
Excellent. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Ramya. All right, folks, I see we have a busy Zoom room. So I'm very excited to be here. For some of you, we may have met on the road. You may already be familiar with University of San Francisco, and this may also be your first time learning about USF. Well, I'm really excited to spend the next few minutes, half hour, 45 minutes with you to focus a little bit on the university, but also spend most of this time crafting a standout application. Much of this will apply to business school, but generally the advice that we're going to do here is about personal reflection. It's about pro tips, proofreading, what are the guiding principles, and how do we read between the lines of what an admission committee is looking to see. So whether you're looking at computer science, you're looking at an MBA or a specialty master's program, you will be able to take this feedback on crafting a standout application and bring it into your application process. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I will be sharing my screen. And I'm looking forward to the exciting questions that we have at the end for Ramya and I. So be thinking ahead. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, the University of San Francisco provides a transformative learning experience that is rooted in the unique USF traditions of social responsibility, a commitment to the common good, and collaborative discourse, learning as humanizing and a social process rather than a competitive exercise. At University of San Francisco, our educational enterprise really communicates these values to folks who are committed to conscious leadership. I am so pleased to share that the School of Management is celebrating 100 years of providing premier Jesuit education. And it's really easy to see why our programs have lasted this long in an area as competitive as San Francisco. Our programs demonstrate a top 30 ranking in the US for areas such as entrepreneurship, analytics, marketing, and finance. Now, these rankings signal academic rigor, a strong alumni network of 140,000 management alum, and career outcomes that will benefit you for our university. And employers are often looking at these rankings when deciding where to recruit. And you, as the prospective student, can rely on rankings to influence your decision to apply and ultimately enroll in some of these programs. Now, we offer over 50 graduate programs at University of San Francisco. I've narrowed down the STEM professional programs that are in demand for candidates like you who are interested in B School and maybe a little bit of our hard sciences. So if you don't find your program on the screen, don't worry, contact Ramya and I, and we will help you locate amongst our School of Nursing, College of Arts and Sciences, School of Law, School of Education, and School of Management. Now, these programs are available for application now. They offer STEM OPT, internships, executive career coaches, career internships, as well as client projects. Now, I would love to spend the next hour sharing details about each of these programs. However, you're here to learn about the application. So we have much to cover in preparing that. However, Ramya is available for one-to-ones in person throughout India. I travel to Africa usually 1 to 2 times per year. Every month, we are hosting virtual sessions that will give you a deep dive into the curriculum, the program length, the student profile, and the career outcomes. So we have much.
I think we've lost Hannah there for a second. Rami, do you want to join in and outline some of the, oh, we lost you there, Hannah, for a second. I think
Oh,
you froze. You're
Are you
back though.
good?
There
Okay.
you are.
okay, am I back?
Yeah.
This is why we have backup. Okay, so I invite you to join me for a monthly information session, an in-person visit to do a deep dive into these programs. San Francisco is a compelling choice for international students pursuing a graduate degree, especially if you are looking to blend business education with innovation, tech, as well as the global mindset. You have incredible access to companies looking to hire you. Our programs are the pipeline leading students into the 4th largest global economy in the world. California doesn't mess around when it comes to the economy. So, how does this economic powerhouse apply to you? Within our programs, you will have client projects and you will have internships as well as working with our career services to work with in-demand large and small companies. So 44% of our master's internships translate into full-time employment. 23% of MBA internships translate to full-time. USF students will have multiple projects and company visits with Bay Area employers. The proximity to Silicon Valley is key when you're choosing a global degree. We are the global epicenter for tech, startups, and venture capital. This global city, culturally diverse, welcomes global talent. This allows you to experience multicultural business environment. So whether you're looking to be an AI engineer or not, in San Francisco, we bring you positions that are also non-engineering roles such as product managers, business analysts, business development, marketing, communication, sales, CSR, CSM, tech support, ethics, L&D, ops managers, and so much more. California is the #1 state providing H-1B visas. And yes, I know that it is a tumultuous environment, but it's important to consider location. Companies that will help you in your graduate program as well as postgraduate. So these are just a few of the companies that you may work with as a student at University of San Francisco. Now, if you are here and this excites you, that means that you're likely considering 2026 as your opportunity to enroll. And it's important to understand the application dates for this cycle. At University of San Francisco, we offer a fall start, meaning our classes begin in August. The application offers multiple deadlines. But as many of you said in the chat, you are international, coming from various regions in India and Africa. And I must stress that you need to apply early. No matter what school you are looking at in the United States, you want to be in round 1 and round 2. Yes, my application is open until May, as you can see on these deadlines here. But considering the visa process, we want to ensure that you have sufficient time to interview successfully for your program, receive your scholarship, plan for your enrollment, and have plenty of time for the visa process that may take 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 8 weeks. So plan ahead. Now, at University of San Francisco, we take a holistic approach to reviewing every applicant. Each program may have slight differences in the application, but the admission committee will be evaluating candidates on academic performance, personal performance, and professional readiness. So overall, we want to evaluate your transcripts, your resume, your statement of purpose essay, letters of recommendation, communication skills through interview, Yes, quantitative skills through the GRE and GMAT. And then for our F1 visa candidates, we won't tackle this in this session today, but yes, English proficiency exam, a certificate of finance, and a passport. Generally, these will be the items that are required of you at every institution that you apply to, with slight caveats. So in this presentation, we will review the most important requirements, why programs require them, and how to read between the lines to submit the best version of this material. We have a lot to cover today, so let's jump into this. Before starting your application, I want you to start with personal reflection. Every graduate recruiter will state the most important question to ask yourself is why? Why are you going to graduate school? It's critical that you ask yourself thoughtful questions about your career goals, your personal plans, the location of your program. You want to have a conversation with yourself that expresses honest expectation and an honest evaluation of who you are and where you plan to go. Understanding your why and why you want to pursue graduate school will help you stay focused. It will help you choose the right program, and it will help you communicate your goals authentically. And let me tell you, we know the difference. So before you sit down to write an essay, before you work on your resume, or even before you ask your references, we want you to sit down and focus on your why. Ask yourself these questions. Sit for a few days, journal the answers, and take a thoughtful and curious approach to what you want and how you plan to get there. Because remember, I'm not going to grad school. Ramya isn't going to. We already did that. This journey is about you, and it's important to stay focused on you through your reflection. Now, it can be difficult to navigate your why. Who likes to sit down and really think about themselves? That's a challenging endeavor. So yes, typically the answer is we want knowledge. Yes, we want professional growth. Yes, we want a great salary. Those are all base, surface level answers. I want you to dig deeper. I want you to understand what type of archetype you are. I want you to understand that as an admissions professional, I have market segmentation, and my programs will support various types of students who fall into a specific pattern. So if you don't know where you are at, I want you to start here. Understand what pattern, what archetype, and what segmentation you are as an applicant. So if you are an early career or a recent graduate, you're likely going to be a career launcher who is looking for exposure, skill adoption, and connections. You also may be somebody who has 6 to 8 years of work experience, and you're really seeking advancement and growth, leadership potential. So that would help you fall into the rising professional archetype. And at USF, we attract many career dreamers who are looking to make their way in Silicon Valley with startups and entrepreneurship. And of course, there are many candidates who consider themselves mission drivers, who are looking to connect with Jesuit values of social justice and purpose-driven leadership. These are just 4 of the segments groups that we will cater to in an applicant population. You may find that you have a little bit of both, especially as a mission driver and a rising professional. It is your responsibility and to your benefit to start to understand how an admission committee may see you and understand the motivations between each of these archetypes and how the program connects to you. And remember, this is all pre-work. This is still before you start your resume and your essay and ask your letters of recommendation. Take the time to evaluate who you are. Why do we do this? Well, we ask you to complete the internal reflection because it makes a difference in the quality of your materials. And having a high quality of materials will impact your scholarship. It will impact your interview. It will impact the university interest in you. Doing the pre-work and knowing the why leads to better materials, better offers, better positions at universities, which is why we are here. It will also help you build confidence and excitement in the process. Do not think of applying to graduate school simply as a document checklist. Think of this as a tool for self-exploration. I always ask candidates, does AI know you well enough to market you? Can ChatGPT tell me about the complexities of your career trajectory? Can Perplexity AI tell me about your experience of your failed startup? Or maybe why you are experiencing a career pivot into computer science? So ChatGPT is a tool to help you organize, but it is not the author of your application. Authenticity in answering this question will set you apart from every other candidate. Now, the next piece, it's important to know the stakes. There is limited time to apply. As we saw a few slides ago, we want to see early applications in round 1 and round 2. If you apply late, universities will not make space for you. There is a short window, so make sure that you are reading this email, you know your timeline, and you're submitting in a timely manner. There are only finite offers of admission. Unfortunately, not everyone receives an acceptance letter. There are limited seats in each program. At University of San Francisco, we offer small class sizes, cohorts that range from 25 to 50 students. So there is not enough room for everyone. I do not offer large lecture halls. It is a small, intimate experience. And that's the case for many programs in the US. So rejection rates may vary from 30 to 70% for most US schools. So knowing that, and knowing that we have over 400 people on this call today, know that your application matters and the quality of your materials, because for 400 people here, my MBA only supports 25 to 50 of you. My Master's of Science in Entrepreneurship only supports 35 in a cohort. So knowing the stakes is important, and I share that with you to stress the importance of crafting a great application. You need to go beyond the surface level. You need to demonstrate thoughtfulness and curiosity in your application in order to receive the 75% scholarship, in order to be one of the few folks who start in a cohort. So this is meant to motivate you and for you to stay encouraged and committing to your best application. Knowing your why will clarify your purpose, define your career goals, and identify the values and passion. So let your why be the anchor throughout this journey, because there may be days where you're tired, or you want to miss a deadline, or you don't feel prepared for your interview. So understand that knowing your why will help you stay motivated to this process and really make a difference in how we evaluate you. Now, I am sure we are familiar with the term called know thyself. But what I like to remind people is that you must show thyself in your application. I am evaluating you. I need to know more about you. So your personal statement or essay is your chance to go beyond the numbers and demonstrate your purpose, your maturity, and your fit. Are your motivations genuine or generic statements like, I want to make a difference? Graduate programs require strong communication skills. So your essay shows clearly and persuasively that you can communicate complex ideas. These tools are going to show confidence, curiosity, and communication in real time. So it's important to remember that we're not just evaluating previous experiences, we are evaluating who you will be in the cohort. We are building a cohort of 25 to 50 students that will collaborate, intern, write, engage in real-world problem solving. So just like I'm looking to build the best cricket team, I'm looking to find many players who will win an entire season. And that's what we do when we build a cohort. So does your personal story include career goals, adversity, growth, risks, resilience, passion? If you do not have those, go back to the drawing board. That's what makes the difference for the right candidate. Now, if you have those, where do we show them? How do we show thyself? We're going to start in the essay. Every grad school program is going to ask you to submit an essay. And the essay is typically where candidates struggle most. It's hard to sit and write about yourself. So we already know our why. We did the pre-work. But it's also where candidates typically rely on ChatGPT. And you submit a generic, boring essay. And that's where candidates get it wrong. So let's get it right by focusing on some principles. You are sharing your personal story and your career goals. And it's typically the item that we see first when we are reviewing you. So this essay is our first introduction to you. It's not your resume and it's not your letters of recommendation. It is this essay. This is your opening line and your elevator pitch to the university. So the guiding principle that I like to tell candidates is to know your past and believe in your potential. Communicate how this degree supports your vision and share what makes you a match. This is how the frame in which you are going to write your essay. Technical submissions. Answer the prompt, okay? And edit to amplify. Answer the prompt promptly. Do not submit 20 pages. Admissions teams are typically looking on 1 to 3 pages of this essay. So that means you need to work this out. You need to edit it multiple times to really make sure this elevator pitch makes sense and communicates your potential. Remember to spell check and proofread. You're going to grad school. I want to see talent. And if you can't proofread, you're not ready for grad school. And then finally, remember that AI is not the author. You are. Often folks think of this just as a checklist item, but remember your audience. You will go through multiple reviews in an admission committee. I, as a director, will evaluate you as a staff member. However, there are faculty members who will grade your papers. There are alumni who are trying to evaluate if you fit into their circle. There are deans and provosts and VPs, a part of your committee, who are trying to see, will this candidate boost a ranking? Will this candidate fit into our culture and identity? So remember who evaluates you and ensure that the guiding principles speak to your potential. Will this audience believe in your potential? Now, after you submit your essay, the next area of personal evaluation and telling your story will come through the interview. The interview is your opportunity to bring this whole application to life. It's where you show confidence, curiosity, communication skills in real time. What interviewers are assessing is your professionalism, your presence, how you are carrying yourself, and how you think on your feet and articulate your ideas. So the guiding principle of this section is to create the connection with your interviewer. Fill in the gaps of your previous experience, academic, and potential. This is where you get to really storytell and create a fun narrative. You want to share critical stories of growth and challenge and discipline because your transcripts don't tell us discipline. Your letters of recommendation, hopefully they tell us of growth and challenge, but right now in the interview, you own and control the story. So practice. Always have stable internet connection. Always arrive on time. Dress appropriately. I wish I was kidding, but somebody showed up in pajamas one day for an interview. That's not my expectation. So practice. Pay attention to the technical pieces of your interview. And remember, just like the last slide, consider the audience. Who is your interviewer? Will they believe in your potential based on your answers? Will they see that you are articulate, have resilience, take risks, and are a part of our community? Now, those are how you're going to say, that's where you can say your personal story. There are other areas that we look at the application, and that's going to be about performance and preparedness. So we are going to request your bachelor degree transcripts for evaluation. And typically programs welcome academic backgrounds of all types. So whether you're a business degree, communication, engineering, arts, civil engineering, you are typically eligible to apply. And so many candidates will apply with GPAs 3.0 and above. Great. Thank you. We love you. We want to see candidates with strong academic performance. But many candidates have concerns about a lower GPA. And remember that a low GPA is not a dead end. It's simply a data point in your holistic review. But what I want to share with you is that while you can't change your past performance of academics, you can impact your future. You can change any negative perception of a subpar academic performance. If you are in the position where your GPA is less than ideal, then you should consider the benefits of a GRE and a GMAT exam. I know, they're hard. I took the GRE 3 times to get my best score. So I understand that many candidates feel that this is a barrier. But I want to encourage you how to take control. If you are not in a great place academically, lean into exams, lean into certificate programs, or maybe a LinkedIn learning course to demonstrate that you are ready for academic rigor. I like to tell students and potential candidates that admission committees are rooted in evidence-based decision-making. I need to use evidence-based decision-making to evaluate you. There must be evidence that you are prepared academically. There must be evidence that you will pass my most rigorous courses. And if I do not see that in your transcripts, then you must provide that somewhere else. Be that through the GRE, a GMAT, a LinkedIn Learning, a certificate course. Work with your admissions team to identify that because we must have evidence that you will be successful academically. Now, we are also looking to evaluate your professional competencies. An important pillar of the application is demonstrating that you are mature, you're professionally ready, because we are going to send you out into internships and client projects. So you must do that through the resume or the CV. Now, you will submit a resume that lets reviewers see the breadth and depth of your experience. But there's more to your professional experience than just listing it, right? You will also request at least 2 letters of recommendation from references that will provide outside feedback for your program readiness. Now, often people think of the resume and the letters of rec as the easy part of an application, but it's critical to understand how important these elements are of your application in our holistic review process. So let's start with the resume. The resume is reviewed alongside your statement of purpose, your recommendations, and your academic record. The resume will help us contextualize your achievements that you mentioned in your essays or your interview. The resume often confirms your key competencies, like your leadership, your ethics, your communication, as well as program values. So your resume is the evidence-based decision maker behind your personal statement. Make sure that your personal statement and your resume reinforce each other, because the admission committee is going to use the resume to gauge whether your experience complement what the program offers. So I want it to be clear. I want it to be 1 page. I want it to have measurable results. I want it to show fit. I want to understand that your resume is a fit for my program goals and curriculum. I want to understand how your path is going to connect to those future goals of my program. And I'm going to use this resume for readiness. I want to see demonstrated growth, responsibility, and curiosity. I want to see the consistent progress and purpose in your experience. So yes, people use ChatGPT for this. Remember, it's not the author. I want to see that your resume has been edited well and communicates and fits your personal essay. Remember that we want you to be intentional and use this as a story of readiness and fit for your program. The next piece where we are looking at professional competency is through the references and through your letters of recommendation. And I will tell you, this is the part that stalls so many applicants. Okay. One, because they don't finish it. Choosing a reference is important. In all cases, we usually want to see professional references, but many of you are seniors in your program. So look for somebody on the career side. Look for a faculty member who has been supporting you academically, who can speak to your integrity, your work ethic, and your collaboration style. We want to see a high quality reference submit a long reference. If you have somebody who is choosing to submit one sentence answers, that's not a great reference. Go back to the drawing board, okay? Choose someone who is excited about you, who can offer perspective, and who will tell me, as an admissions director, who will tell the lead faculty member, who will tell the dean about your accomplishments. Because remember your audience. You are looking to impress multiple members and ensure that your reference is on the same page as you. Prep them. Prepare your reference with the university name, with the program name, and with a deadline. Your reference is busy. They are not applying to graduate school. You are. So make sure that your reference understands the deadline. And then finally, we've worked on professional competency, preparedness academically, sharing your personal story through the essay and through the interview. But what happens next is that graduate programs are looking for students whose goals align with the school's identity. So knowing the mission of the university that you are looking for is going to help you articulate why you belong there, not just why you want a degree. So understanding the alignment to the university and the program is going to strengthen your statement of purpose, your interview responses, and your overall story. Committees can see when you have done your research and that you value the same things as our institution. Admissions teams are looking to view alignment with missions and values as a sign of your self-awareness and your leadership and maturity. So it shows that you understand how your personal growth connects to the broader impact of what you want to make. It signals that you're going to contribute meaningfully to the university community, to the alumni base, to the current students, to your cohort, and that you uphold the identity. Understanding the mission and values is going to help you decide whether the school's approach matches your priority. Because remember, it is you going through this experience. It's not me. It's not Ramya. It's not the dean. So understanding what your 1 to 2 year commitment in the classroom looks like is critical to choosing the right university. So graduate school is a commitment, and the application process can feel challenging. I hope that so far this has led to reading in between the lines and demystifying how a material is used. It gives you more details about who your audience is and how we will evaluate you. There are over 140,000 School of Management alumni across the globe who have demonstrated that committing to crafting a great application will benefit your chances of launching your startup, of joining your dream company, and achieving your promotion. So no matter what segment, no matter what applicant archetype you are, there is a potential for you in the University of San Francisco. Now, hopefully this has been motivating, and hopefully you have more questions. So we're going to wrap up here soon, and I want you to get your Q&A in the chat. But I also want you to know that every month we have information sessions hosted by program directors and faculty that will give you a deep dive into curriculum, client projects, alumni networks. We also have Ramya, who is hosting virtual sessions and in-person sessions across India. For my candidates who are in Africa, we have a student assistant coming from Ghana who is here to answer your questions about what it's like to be a student entering in. These sessions happen every month. They are designed for you. It is there to help you understand your alignment to the university, your commitment to the program, and help you build confidence in your process. Every month, I host another workshop 3 times a month about how to apply. Again, something very similar to this where we're going to look at the nitty-gritty details of the app. And then finally, once you're ready, you will apply online. You will have all of your materials ready, and you will be applying at the right time on the right deadline and applying early. Now, I appreciate you being here today. For some of you, it's very late. For some of you, it's early in the morning. And for some of you, it might be midday. You took time out of your schedule, and that's the best first step to take when applying to graduate school. That shows your intention. That shows that you want to be here. So continue to work on your curiosity, knowing your why, editing your application materials so that we can find your potential in you and find the right fit at University of San Francisco. So with that, Lindsay, Ramia, I believe that we have some questions in the chat, if I'm not mistaken.
We absolutely do. And Ramia has been taking a lot of those digitally. I know there's some very specific questions. There's also some general questions. So I'm going to focus on those that apply to most of you. I see a question here, Hannah, about gaining real world experience within your programs, or whether or not there's opportunities for internships or other experiential learning. So can you touch on that?
Absolutely. I love this question. I believe that every university in the US has this now because a commitment to ROI and your ROI is something that each university cares about. So at USF, whether you are choosing a specialty master's program at 1 year or the 2-year full-time MBA, you will have a minimum of 3 client projects. So you will partner with companies like BlackRock. You'll partner with companies like Charles Schwab. You may work with Meta on a social media review. You might partner with a Bay Area winery or hospitality group or hotel system to focus on a client project or need. So there are already 3 projects built into your curriculum to expose you to new clients and corporations. Your programs will also have the internship component. 98% of our students seek an internship and want an internship. Those other 2%, they're interested in research. So we provide the internship opportunities for you within that program. In your 1-year programs, you'll see your internship start in your 2nd semester. For your MBA, you'll see your internship begin in your 2nd, 3rd, or 4th semester, depending on when you're ready to intern. So we have the Bay Area, which is the 4th largest, or part of the 4th largest global economy, meaning that you will have companies in tech, fintech, clean tech, health tech. You'll also have finance. You're going to see education. You're going to see healthcare. You're going to see hospitality. You'll see legal. Because one of the best things about the San Francisco Bay Area is, yes, we are obviously known for Silicon Valley and tech, but we are everything else as well. The only industry that we don't have a grip on is entertainment. And that's located in LA. So no matter what you're looking for, you'll have that internship, you'll have those client projects to really get exposure to US companies.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Also, not surprisingly, lots of questions about a scholarship. And more specifically, we've learned about crafting a strong application, but how does one apply for or attain a larger scholarship across your programs?
And I hope we were listening. Generally, what we want to see are candidates that do this work. We want to see a candidate that shows authenticity, went beyond an AI written essay, who really understands that the MBA program has these outcomes and they apply. So intentionality really matters. Yes, I want to see good GPAs. If you don't have a good GPA, you need to make up for it. So intentionality matters and the quality of the materials matter. You only have one shot to convince an admission committee that there's a place in the program and that of all the applicants, you're the 75% scholarship. So understand the stakes to really put the work into the application. The next thing is showing up at events like this. Remember that Rami and I meet people every day. Are you the type of candidate who showed up to 3 events or 1 event? Are you the type of candidate that opened 1 email or all 15 emails? Because those are ways that we can gauge your intentionality, the ways that we can see that you are interested. And I will tell you, it goes a long way when I open up an application and I recognize your name because you've attended these events multiple times. So those are great ways to show up and to prepare your materials intentionally and accurately. And those are ways to achieve a higher scholarship.
Great. And there's a question also on GMAT and GRE waivers. So do all of your programs require GMAT or GRE?
Mhm.
And is there a process for waiving the GMAT or GRE? Maybe you can speak both with respect to USF and also more generally about applying to the US.
Absolutely. So GRE and GMAT is always a hot topic. It always has been. And if you were here earlier, I understand. I took it 3 times when I did my MBA. So it's probably not everyone's favorite activity to study for. And I feel you. However, I want to stress that it can be a really great tool. For some of you, you're not worried about test taking and it's easy to adopt. I appreciate that and I wish I had that same skill. But for some of us, it's hard to sit down and study and work on quantitative exam testing. So, one, I want you to think reasonably about this. It's not that you need to be in the 1% of test scores. Work with your admission committee to understand the scale of acceptability because we have minimums, we have maximums, we have averages of the last 5 years, and every school is going to have a different answer to that. Okay, and also every program will put different weight on it. So, for example, an MBA cares very much about work experience, right? That's going to be what we want to see. So, work experience may hold more weight than the GMAT exam does. So you find that out by working with the admissions team, okay? I wish I could give a blanket answer for every university and program, but I can't because every program and university has a different mission, value, and outcome. So you have to do that research. Now, for University of San Francisco, we are GRE and GMAT optional. It is not a requirement that you submit the GRE and GMAT. So if you are not looking to do that, that's great. There are some universities in California where it is a requirement. So, working with the admissions team to find that out, it's on our website, it's in our communication plans via email, it will be readily available to you. But again, there are benefits to this exam that will help you for admission, but also for scholarship. And that's going to be a real personal conversation from the admissions team to you.
Great, thank you. And I know you just addressed and also mentioned in the presentation about work experience and some programs requiring it, some not. But there's a few questions about people looking to build skills, build experience, and that are looking forward maybe a year or two down the road before they apply to grad school. So what are some of the activities, this is coming up in a few questions, that students should pursue to strengthen that skill set? Build that portfolio to showcase in their application.
I love somebody who is preparing for the future. That's excellent. So be intentional. The first thing is that if you are, let's say you're an undergrad right now, you're studying to bachelor's, you're a junior, you're a senior, right? So your primary focus is grades and keep it on grades because you don't want to have to take that GRE or GMAT, right? So make sure that your GPA reflects positively. Second, I want you to go and contact your career services at your university. And I want you to attend the workshops. I want you to investigate internships. And hopefully you can have those internships. But if not, attend the company visits. Your career services team at your bachelor's degree institution will support you. So work with them to find those events. If you have already entered the workforce and you're looking to gain that first 2 years of experience, remember that one, it's okay whatever company you're choosing, right? We just want to see professionalism. So, tomorrow, when you show up at work, I want you to identify who will be your mentor. I want you to identify the 3 people that you work closely with that will support you with mentorship and growth. And then you're going to develop relationships with them. One, because it's going to help you know your why. You're going to benefit from increased commitment into your work and your programs. And then in 2 to 3 years, you will ask those mentors to submit letters of recommendation on your behalf. So really project manage yourself for the next 2 to 3 years in your undergrad or your professional life to gain experience and to find mentorship. And then finally, independent work. It is valuable to look at certificates. I always tell my team at work, pay attention to what's happening. Do a certificate on LinkedIn Learning. edX course. There are free opportunities for you to stay really connected to the changing professional world and to understand new skill sets. You may or may not want to be an AI engineer. I know I don't, but I know I want to take a class to understand that so that I can stay curious. And each of those three examples you can use in your interview, in your essay, and it will help you know your why. And they will build up some experience and talking points in your application.
Great. Thank you, Hannah. So I know we talked about experience within the program, like internships, experiential learning. Can you speak a little bit more to the career opportunities post-degree and how the University of San Francisco supports students through that process?
Absolutely. And what a timely question, as always. So, one of the pieces that's important is when you choose your university, to understand, how does career services work with you? Is it optional? Is it required? Is it built into the curriculum? So ask that of every recruiter that you're working with. At University of San Francisco, we have required meetings each semester. So you will not be able to register for classes until you have met with your executive coach. So we ensure that we have a paced out learning of career exploration during your program. Why does that matter? Often we'll have students who wait until the last semester to focus on career services, right? We wait until our final semester to look at what the job boards are. And so our executive coaches at USF have a paced out plan so that you can grow continuously throughout the program and prepare reasonably while you're balancing your academics. So that's why you're in the program. Now, how does this help post? So about 2 to 3 months before you start graduating, your executive coach who is assigned to you, we have 5 for the School of Management. I believe that there are 5 for the College of Arts and Sciences. Can't speak to nursing, but this is online. So there are multiple executive coaches. They're going to introduce you to the job board, right? And that is an exclusive link to you, partnered by University of San Francisco. Yes, there are career fairs, but really you're going to take advantage of the relationships that we have already developed for you. Then we're going to post what jobs are available. We will help and support you in booking your interview. Then you'll have your pre-interview prep. Ideally, we want to see you have a job within 3 months. And 88% of our students have a position within 3 months, and then 94% have a position within 6 months. And that's for international and domestic students in our programs. So you'll see that 3 to 6 timeline is 3 to 6 month timeline is really important of working with your executive coach to secure the interviews for positions. One of the things that's important is to recognize this is tough work. It's not easy. Whether you are an MBA, a specialty master's, you have 10 years, 2 years, or 4 years. This is a commitment. And having consistent coaching is going to make a significant difference in the type of company you're working with. Like our MBAs, for example, their general salary for their first offer is going to come at $186,000 USD. Then we have specialty masters with folks who have a little less work experience, and they're coming out with $144,000 in their first offer. So partnering with your executive coach is going to lead to pretty significant opportunities within 3 to 6 months. But also remember, it's a lifelong commitment. Once you're done, you're done. So after 5 years, you may want to refresh your course. Or maybe you're looking to work with our executive coaches to prepare for a salary negotiation. You can always come and partner with the career services team as an alumni to continue to grow your career post-graduation.
Great, thank you. I see a lot of questions here. For those of you that don't get your questions answered through this Q&A, I see some great resources on the screen already in terms of how to join future sessions, chat online, email. I know Rami has also shared her contact information. So if we don't get to your question, please use those channels. But there is one more I'd like to ask Hannah before we wrap up. And I know we went through this quite a bit, but I know it's a concern for many applicants because we are all nowadays using AI tools like ChatGPT. You've already spoken deeply about being authentic and not letting AI be the main author, but only using it as a tool. So could you speak a little bit toward, CVs, statement of purpose, all aspects of the application, and if there are any areas where it is not okay to use AI, or if it would be frowned upon, and how to sort of navigate that across the various aspects when using it as a tool.
I love this. And, I like to say in the US, we have this term. Oh, Ramia, you're taking it. My bad.
Yeah,
Take it.
do you want me to?
I got excited.
It was for you. I just wanted to jump in. Sorry, sorry about that. So, yeah, since I feel so passionate about this because all the Indian aspirants, the whole AI thing is so compelling. But let us tell you very honestly and very frankly, AI is a good friend of ours. We belong to the AI headquarters, right? We are the epicenter of AI, so we love AI. That said, we also want to hear your stories, which is why Hannah laid a lot of emphasis on the fact that you need to be the writer of your story. While you can use AI to make it better, to make it articulate better, to have better English, but don't let AI write your stories, guys, because it's never going to do justice to what you can possibly tell us. So yes, are we going to know whether you used AI? Of course we're going to know. We've been doing this for ages, right? We applications and aspirants and AI, this is what we do, guys. This is our business. So we will know, but we're not going to hold you at gunpoint. We would love for you to write your own story. Please write it, but use AI to make it look better, especially when, as Hannah rightly said, grammar, check your grammar, check, do a spell check. It really hurts us to read, I'd love to join the University of San Francisco. And then in the second paragraph, there's Berkeley showing up somewhere. So, that's definitely not a go. So please make sure that these elements are taken care of. I also wanted to just splice this in, if that is okay with you, Lindsay, is a lot of people are startup entrepreneurs in India, a lot of failed startups, a lot of us having gap years. I did see those questions coming up. So I just wanted to reassure you, those are not issues, those are not problems, so long as you are able to articulate what was the reason behind the gap. What is it that you did during the gap year? What was your learning? If you have a failed startup, go for it. Tell us your story. What did you learn from the failure? Because startups generally don't succeed at the first go. But what we are interested in knowing is your journey, because that tells us that you are a learner. That tells us that you have a risk appetite, and that tells us that you want to move ahead, right? So these are elements that you need to take care of. But I'm going to stop with this. Over to you, Lindsay.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm just going to hand it to Hannah for any last words or how to contact and reach out. I know we've put some of that in the chat and on the screen, and also just briefly to touch on app fee waivers and the process for that.
Absolutely. We have app fee waivers. So if you reach out, book an appointment with Ramia or myself or any member of our team, we will be providing that process for an app fee waiver. The application fee is $55. We do want to see candidates using this because they are intentional and having the appointments with Ramia, myself, or the team. So we will be sharing that post that event because you want to take the next step to meet with us before receiving the application fee. So, oh, wow, that went fast, Lindsay and Ramia. I can't believe it's already time.
It is, and quite compelling and interesting information. So thank you so much, Hannah. A couple of things that stood out for me was being authentic. I think especially in what Ramia shared on AI, it's important to remain authentic and show us who you are. Actually, show thyself, as Hannah pointed out. And yes, using AI as a tool, but not as an author. People want to get to know you, and there's not really a right answer. It's about showing your authentic self. So a lot of great learnings about applying to business schools. Thank you so much to Hannah and Ramia and the University of San Francisco for their session today, and lots of ways to stay connected with the school, also with Seed Global Education. Hope to see you also maybe on some future master classes or some in-person sessions soon. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon, day, wherever you're joining us from. And thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.